Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar about China's recent herbicide trends. My name is Patrick and I will guide you through today's presentation. CCM offers you today to give you exclusive insights in China's herbicide market by the examples of Dicamba, Paraquat, Glufosinate-ammonium and Atrazine. The information in the webinar is based on the market research of our brand CCM and the trade analysis of our brand Tranalysis. In this webinar, we will not only have a look at the overall development of China's herbicides market in general, but also have a deeper look into some of the major herbicides in the market and their respective perspective. First, let me show you the agenda for today's webinar. We will start by having a look at the overview of the Chinese herbicide market. After this, I present you the case of the four herbicides Dicamba, Paraquat, Glufosinate-ammonium and Atrazine in particular. The webinar will end with a short conclusion to gather the key points of the whole presentation. Before I begin with the content, let me show you the main sources of the information for today. If you are interested in a particular topic, like the market research on Dicamba, for example, please have a look at the reports and analysis we provide. CCM's industrial reports contain a detailed analysis of the topics and include data of many years of research. The monthly newsletter can be subscribed to get all important market updates every month right at hand. The trade analysis by Tranalysis offers you detailed import and export research of many herbicides in China and worldwide. It provides the whole trade flow and even the manufacturers and buyers behind the traders that are recognized by national customs. Without further delay, let's get into the topic. In China, the output of chemical pesticide technical recorded as a peak of 3.78 million tons in 2016. The herbicide technical output was 1.77 million tons, accounting for almost 47% of the total pesticides in that year. Notably, this result was achieved even after the output share of herbicides was on a downtrend from 2014 to 2016. As a category of pesticides, herbicides have been playing an increasingly important role in the prevention and control of weeds. The structure of pesticide products in China used to be so imbalanced that the output of insecticides accounted for an extremely large proportion of the whole market, while proportions of other types of pesticides were quite small. For example, in 1994, China's output proportions of insecticides, herbicides, and fungicides were around 76.4%, 13%, and 9.5% respectively. This situation has changed greatly in recent years, as the Chinese government has paid a greater deal of attention to the adjustment of the pesticide industrial structure and the development of products with higher added value and efficiency. The output structure of pesticides in China has changed immensely, and the output proportion of herbicides has risen greatly. For instance, in 2016, China's output proportion of herbicides was around 46.9% and exceeded that of insecticides, much higher than the situation in 1994, and herbicides becoming the largest pesticide category. According to CCM's price monitoring, among the 33 herbicide technical products, only one showed year-on-year growth in average annual ex-works price, while the other 32 ones witnessed the year-on-year drops in average annual ex-works prices in the year 2016. The average annual ex-works price of Glufosinate-ammonium 95% technical witnessed the most significant drop, down by 54.28% year-on-year, while that of 3-halophop-butyl 95% technical increased up by 0.64% year-on-year. As for the average prices in the first half of 2017, the average annual export prices of 16 herbicide technical products showed a growth in the first half 2017, while those of the other 71 witnessed decreases compared to those before. The monthly prices, the average annual export prices of 25 herbicide technical products increased in June 2017, while those of the other 8 ones decreased compared to those in January 2017. In the first quarter of 2017, some pesticide production lines were suspended during the Spring Festival. What's more, China's Ministry of Environmental Protection made further efforts on environmental safety. Thus, pesticide manufacturers were facing increasing pressure. So, in the first quarter of 2017, the production of herbicides was not improving compared to the first quarter of 2016. In general, as of the beginning of 2017, most of herbicides were in tight supply, especially the spot products. Affected by the heavy haze, some herbicide producers in the main producing areas, such as Shandong and Hubei province in China, maintained a low operating rate and some even suspended production. In May 2017, the CCPIA published a list of the top-selling pesticide brands in China. The best-selling herbicides in China in 2016 included 11 products from 11 different enterprises. The first rank went to the brand Fencer by Dow AgroScience. As you can see, Glufosinate-ammonium, which we will discuss in detail later, ranked second under the brand name by Sudan from Shangyu Yongnan Chemical. After the overview of the herbicides market trend in China, let's have a closer look into the four main representatives of this pesticide category we will look at today. We will start with Dicamba, the herbicide that has made some interesting news and it might get banned in the USA recently, due to the severe crop damages there occurred. The Dicamba industry in China, which is the world's largest producing country of Dicamba technical, has been developing rapidly in the past few years. The country's capacity and output of the product were accounting for about 61% and 48% of the global total in 2016, respectively. Traditionally, the demand for Dicamba mainly comes from grammaceous crops like wheat and corn, which together take up about 85% of its total consumption in the world. Dicamba is barely used in paddy fields, let alone soybean and cotton fields. However, the application of Dicamba in these three crops may be promising in the future because of the high resistance of rice to Dicamba, as well as the research and promotion of Dicamba-tolerant cotton and soybean. In recent years, the production scale of Dicamba has witnessed a dramatic growth in China. The national total capacity of Dicamba technical soared from 2012 to 2016, reaching 37,000 tons per year in June 2017. The total output also increased largely from 2012 to 2016 at a CAGR of over 47.5% during the spoken period. Before 2014, the annual average ex-works price of Dicamba 98% technical was on the rise from US$ 15,475 per ton in 2011 up to US$ 23,740 tons in the year 2014 because of the fast demand growth in the past few years. However, it began to decrease in 2015 and 2016 and in the first half of 2017 due to the fast capacity expansion, the increasing output, and a sluggish pesticide market in general. There are several factors behind the price trend of Dicamba in China. The price of raw materials is a direct factor behind the Dicamba's price trend. The planting of Dicamba-tolerant crops, which will largely influence the demand for Dicamba in the world, is a strong supporting factor for Dicamba's demand and Dicamba's price. Compared with other herbicides, Dicamba production has higher technical barrier and a more dangerous production process, which will limit the capacity expansion and maybe help support the Dicamba's price. It is estimated that the capacity and output of Dicamba technical in China would rise to 70,000 tons per year and 30,000 tons in 2021 at a CAGR of about 8.2% and 17% respectively, which is mainly due to the fast growth demand for the product from the future planting expansion and the Dicamba tolerant crops. What's more, over 90% of Dicamba products produced in China are produced to be exported. China's export volume of Dicamba products increased from 2012 to 2016 at a CAGR of 47.7%. The USA is the largest export destination. It is predicted that Dicamba will have good market prospects in China because of two main factors: wheat's serious resistance to glyphosate and the successful development of Dicamba-tolerant crops by international agricultural giants like Monsanto. As activists in the global pesticide industry, Chinese pesticide enterprises are proactively preparing for seizing the market share. Because of Dicamba's good performance in the weed control and the promotion of the Dicamba-tolerant crops in the world, the market for Dicamba is promising in the future. Therefore, many Chinese companies have planned or begun applying for approval for product registration and the extension of the constructing production line for Dicamba products. However, technical barriers make it difficult to launch the production. Furthermore, the global capacity expansion will affect Dicamba's price. Watching the promising prospect of Dicamba, many manufacturers' preparation for entering the Dicamba industry or expansions are in full swing now. This will be a threat to Dicamba's relative high price and profit. More and detailed information about Dicamba can be found in the CCM's report, Market and Competitive Analysis of Dicamba Industry in China. That brings us to Paraquat. China is the largest manufacturer of Paraquat technical and formulations in the world. As of May 2017, its Paraquat technical capacity has reached 238,100 tons per year. The output of Paraquat technical went up by 10.5% year on year. After years of promotion, Paraquat has gained a unique position as a means of weed control in China. In 2016, the total output of Paraquat reached 210,000 tons. Meanwhile, domestic consumption of Paraquat stood at 20,472 tons in 2014 and 18,250 in 2015, accounting for about 8.3% of the total consumption of herbicides in China. In China, the Paraquat formulations are mainly consumed in orchards and cornfields, with their consumption volume taking up of about 64% of China's total consumption volume of the product in 2016. The actual consumption of Paraquat in China witnessed a rapid growth in the years preceding 2008, and then rose steadily between 2008 and 2014, reaching over 20,000 tons in 2014 with a CAGR of 2.9% between those years. It declined a little to 18,250 tons in 2015 because the producer stock of AS formulations was limited and some distributors and retailers can't get enough AS formulations from the producers. It declined again in 2016 because AS formulations was banned from July 2016 and the supply and consumption of non-AS formulations was limited. China's total capacity and output of Paraquat reached an operating rate of 88.2%, thanks to the steady demand from overseas markets. In 2016, the total export volume of Paraquat technical in China reached its highest point, which was even 19.5% higher in a year-on-year comparison. Industrial capacity for Paraquat technical in China showed an uptrend from 2010 to 2016, along with the removal and technical transformation of some producers such as Nantong Syngenta, Shandong Luba, Shandong Lufeng, Hebei Shandli, and Jiangsu Nun. The output of China's Paraquat formulations has grown fast from less than 39,000 tons in 2007 to 64,000 tons in 2011 and 112,000 tons in 2016, mainly attributed to the growth and overseas demand. The price of Paraquat technical in China stopped rising and started to drop in the second half of 2014. A Affected by the anti-dumping investigation into imported pyridine, the average export price of 99.9% pyridine in China has been increasing sharply since 2013. But due to the steady domestic supply, the price dropped again in January to May 2017. During 2015 to 2016, the annual average ex-works price of Paraquat 42% technical dropped significantly due to the lowest level over the years, which was mainly affected by its raw materials and the withdrawal of Paraquat from the domestic market. Firstly, as for its raw material, pyridine, the anti-dumping tariff on pyridine originated from India decreased notably, which led to a further drop in the production cost of domestic pyridine products. Secondly, with the withdrawal of Paraquat from the domestic market since July 1st, 2016, the domestic Paraquat technical producers have begun to have the idea of withdrawing from the market as well. However, the price of Paraquat 42% technical has increased significantly in 2017, mainly due to three aspects: tight supply of raw materials caused by the strengthening of environmental protection, lack of new capacity of Paraquat, and intensified integration in the Paraquat industry resulted from the long-term losses of the past. A large proportion of Paraquat produced in China is exported annually, with a share of about 97.1% in 2016. A historical record high, China's export volume of Paraquat technical and formulations were seeing a yearly growth rate of 18.1% and 20.5% respectively. However, China's Paraquat consumer market will change greatly in the future. Because of its fatal toxicity, Paraquat is being restricted by the Chinese government on the domestic market. For example, in April 2012, three Chinese governmental departments, including the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Technical, jointly released an official notice, the notice number 1745, containing a series of restrictive management measures for Paraquat, including the halt of approval for production permits, registrations, and new manufacturers of Paraquat technical and formulations beginning from 24th April 2012. A ban on the production of Paraquat AS from July 1st, 2014, except for the production for export purposes, and sales and application of Paraquat AS in the domestic market from July 1st, 2016 was included. This policy has greatly impacted the demand for Paraquat in the domestic market and will continue to do so going forward. Prospects for Paraquat formulations in the Chinese market are not optimistic. As of May 2017, there was only one valid registration for Paraquat non-AS formulations in China, which will be expired in September 2018. And there is a few Paraquat non-AS formulations on the market at present. The Solicit Opinions manuscript issued by the Ministry of Agriculture on May 9, 2016 had largely affected the activity of Paraquat non-AS formulations promotion in the domestic market and the technological development, making the end of the era for Paraquat in the domestic market after September 2020. More information on all details on Paraquat in China is in the report Market Research on Paraquat in China in 2017. The next research herbicide we're going to look at is Glufosinate-ammonium. Glufosinate-ammonium is a non-selective herbicide and its quick effectiveness is between paraquats and glyphosides. It is commonly used in orchards, vineyards, potato fields, and non-crop land for control of gramineous weeds. In China, glyphosate is the largest herbicide by consumption volume. Long-term use of glyphosate will generate the weed's resistance to glyphosate, which will affect crop yields. However, there is no such problem in the use of glufosinate-ammonium currently. So, compound utilization of these two herbicides is an inevitable trend. Besides, in July 2016, China completely banned the sale and use of Paraquat AS, which provides a good space for glufosinate-ammonium's development. China's glufosinate-ammonium production of both technical and formulations has maintained a spectacular growth from 2012 to 2016, compared with that in 2007 to 2011. Soaring overseas demand and technology improvements are the two most important factors contributing to the dramatic increase in the latest years. Despite the increase in number of registrations of glufosinate-ammonium formulations, there are few large producers in China. As of 2016, only 5 producers had an annual output of more than 100 tons glufosinate-ammonium formulations. The total output of the top 3 producers accounted for 86% of the national total in 2012, and the share dropped slightly to 79% in 2016. At present, the Chinese glufosinate-ammonium market is in tight supply, with price keeps climbing up. The price is unlikely to reduce in the short term. In fact, at the end of 2016, there was a signal of price rising in the market, but most of purchasers took no notice of it and believed that it was producers' aim to push up the off-season stockpiling. Some agricultural means of production distributors also considered that the price will gradually fall as the number of producers rises and may slump in 2017 again. As a result, not many people stocked glufosinate-ammonium for the busy season. However, some enterprises continued to raise the quotation of glufosinate-ammonium after the Chinese Spring Festival. Also, purchases in some regions have started to stock up goods. China's output volume of glufosinate-ammonium formulations has increased significantly from 2012 to 2016. The increase was mainly boosted by the rocketing demand from both domestic and overseas markets, decreasing production costs and improving production quality of China's glufosinate-ammonium formulations thanks to domestic producers' technology improvement. Besides rocketing overseas demand, technology improvement achieved by the manufacturers is another very important factor contributing to the growth. For the same reason, the production cost of Chinese producers of glufosinate-ammonium technical has been lowered significantly, and the product quality has been improved, making Chinese products increasingly competitive and more popular in the global market. China's export of glufosinate-ammonium has witnessed considerable increase in 2016. The export destination of China's glufosinate-ammonium have been expanding from 26 in 2012 to 52 in 2016. China's export volume of glufosinate-ammonium technical has accounted for about 2/3 of China's total export of glufosinate-ammonium from 2012 to 2016. You can find all the information on this herbicide in CCM's report, Production and Market of Glufosinate-ammonium in China. The last herbicide we will take a closer look at is Atrazine. Atrazine is widely used worldwide due to its good herbicidal effect, safety to crops, and economical price. China is not only a high consumption country of atrazine at home, but also a key supplier at abroad. Atrazine is primarily applied to control annual weeds in corn and sugarcane fields. In 2014 to 2016, China's consumption value of major atrazine formulations has declined with a CAGR of 9.5%. In general, the domestic demand for atrazine was weak in 2015 and 2016, mainly due to the decline in application area of corn and sugarcane and its long residual effect. In the first half of 2017, there were mainly 9 companies engaged in the production of atrazine technical in China. In 2014 to 2016, the domestic capacity of Atrazine Technical has increased slightly, while its output first decreased and then rebounded again. The price of atrazine is mainly affected by the price of its raw materials. In 2014 to 2016, the domestic ex-works price of atrazine 97% technical gradually declined due to the decreasing price of its raw material. In H1 2017, the domestic ex-works price rebounded as the price of its raw material cyanuric chloride gradually stabilized again. Currently, the atrazine market in China is in decline and will further narrow in future years, mainly due to its long residual efficiency and the reduction of the corn acreage required by the Chinese government. The decrease of sugarcane acreage and the emergence of new herbicides also play their share. With abundant supply, China imports a small quantity of atrazine, but in fact, China's atrazine is export-orientated, with annual export volume of atrazine technical and formulations accounted for about 70% of the domestic annual output since the year 2008. In 2015, the export volume has decreased by 13.19% year-on-year, and the export value has declined by 28.8% year-on-year. While in 2016, the export volume has increased again by 23.64% year-on-year, and the export value has increased by 17.41%. Let's have a short conclusion about the main points of the presentation. Chinese manufacturers are facing increasing pressure due to the tight supply of raw materials, the low operating rate that is forced by the strict environmental regulations in China. While Dicamba has a good market prospect in China, the future of Paraquat and Atrazine looks less optimistic. Glufosinate-ammonium will play a key role in the combination with glyphosate to fight the increasing resistance of weeds that is occurring. That brings us to the end of the webinar today. I thank you all very much for attending. All the information today was provided by our brands CCM and Journalisys. I hope we will see you soon on one of our online platforms using the information and tools for your own detailed research in the herbicide industry in China. Please have a look at the mentioned reports and newsletters for a detailed and comprehensive analysis on your herbicide in China. If you have any questions left, please feel free to write them down in the chat box. There we can gather them and answer you the questions in detail in an email to you soon. Thank you all very much for attending this webinar of CCM and Journalisys, and have a very nice day.